E3 is upon us. Yep, E3 2021. I can't think of a witty intro, so let's just jump in. Now, when it comes to Ubisoft, I didn't actually watch the presentation, I just looked at a list of the biggest announcements from it, and the only thing that jumped out to me was Mario and Rabbids 2, which is a Rabbids game. So Microsoft's press conference starts with Todd Howard coming up on the stage, blah 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 blah, here's Starfield. Starfield looks great. It looks like it could be the next Fallout. They didn't show any gameplay though, so it could also be the next Kerbal Space Program. And then this lady comes up on stage, blah blah blah, Stalker 2. Okay, from this point forward, I'm only going to talk about games that I'm interested in, and this isn't it. Although it's partially because the only FPS games I'm actually into were made by Valve. Speaking of which, the very next game that they announced was Left 4 Dead 3. Under a different title. Pirates of the Caribbean crossover content for Sea of Thieves. I'll buy it. DLC content for Fallout 76. I don't actually care, I just find it funny how Bethesda is still trying. A new trailer for Halo Infinite. I was more surprised that Halo Infinite isn't even out yet. Now this game looks incredible. It's an FPS, sure, but it takes place in the jungle and you have the option of either stealthily killing enemies or blowing everything to smithereens. Oh, Slime Rancher 2. It's not me who cares, it's my sister. Shredders is a snowboard game, and part of me wants to do snowboarding in real life. It's too bad that it's summer in the south. Atomic Heart. Again, I don't actually care about the game, but I love the music used in the trailer. When I first saw this next game, I thought it was Thimbleweed Park. As it went on, I felt like it was more like Dead Cells. It's called Replaced. Wait a minute, I forgot a game. Party Animals. It looks like Power Stone just became the Muppets. Alright, so where were Hidden Chronicles? Oh my goodness. The Outer Worlds 2 narrowly beats out Knockout City for the best trailer for anything in 2021.
Will this creature be in the game? No.
But at the end of it all, they announced the Xbox METROID. After countless memes about the appearance of the Series X and demands from the people to get the fridge into their houses, they finally made it. They did it. They won the war. Finally, the weapon to surpass the sun of perfection. But hey, Squaresoft had a presentation that day. Let's see what they had. Sounds about right. I had pretty high hopes for Capcom's E3. I was expecting something along the lines of Mega Man X9. But what we got was nothing. Alright, let's be fair. They did announce there was going to be DLC for Resident Evil 8. You're seeing as much as they announced. After that is a very extensive look at Monster Hunter Stories 2. As in, very extensive. I would say that this had better be one of the best games of all time, but Microsoft did the exact same thing for Forza Horizon. They then take a bit of time to talk about The Great Ace Attorney, a game that already exists. And then they go on and on about esports for what feels like an hour, but was probably only around 15 minutes. And after that is... nothing. It's over. Okay, so far this E3 has been kind of sort of disappointing. But at the same time, it's pretty much the first one where I've watched more than just Nintendo's press conference. And since now it's time for Nintendo's press conference, I'm going to bet that everything is going to be turned around. Let's find out. The Direct starts off like any good Direct would, with a Smash Brothers reveal. This time it's Kazuya from Tekken. I don't think anybody asked for him. For one thing, I don't think anyone asked for a Tekken rep in general. For another thing, if it was up to me to choose a Tekken rep, I would have chosen Yoshimitsu. Coming after that is Life is Strange. After that is a scissor reel of games. If they don't matter enough to Nintendo, then they don't matter enough to me. Super Monkey Ball remasters. Alright! Mario Party Superstars. It's Mario Party the Top 100 again, but Nintendo actually listened to us and gave us some boards. This is great. Now give us an F-Zero game. Alright, so those last two announcements were pretty incredible. But I'm sensing that we're about to go into a bit of a drought. When it comes to Nintendo Directs, typically, once the guy shows up and he snaps his fingers, everything before the end is going to just be filler. Well, let's see what's next. a new 2D Metroid game. This is incredible, and on top of that, it has the same name as that old rumor of a Nintendo DS Metroid game. Oh my goodness, yes! I can't wait to see how they top that with the next announcement they didn't. This is what I'm talking about when I say a drought. You get a Just Dance game announced, and then Dragon Ball Z, and then Mario Golf. And then more information on Monster Hunter Stories 2 when we already had 7 minutes worth of it in the Capcom presentation. But at least next up is WarioWare. What? Incredible! I love WarioWare. And we also got more information on SMT5, and then there's a Danganronpa collection. Oh my goodness! Then we slow things down with Fatal Frame 5, and hey, that's another Wii U exclusive coming to the Switch. Let's hope the next one is Game & Wario. And then we can get a scissor reel of games that have already been announced. It's not interesting enough to talk about. And we're picking up steam with Advance Wars remakes. I've never actually played Advance Wars, but I want to play these remakes, because this means Nintendo still cares about their old IPs. We could get an F-Zero game. And then Yoshi comes up and says that there's one more thing. And that's always a great sign, because that one more thing is always incredible. And then Eiji Aonuma comes up and reminds us that Skyward Sword HD still exists. The sword controls for button-only mode still confuse me, but after playing MGS2, I think I'll be fine with it. And then he takes something out of his pocket, and then another one of these? Yet another color screen Game & Watch, this time featuring The Legend of Zelda, Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link, Link's Awakening for the Game Boy, Game & Watch Vermin, and not Game & Watch Zelda. Now, they may have gotten me on the Super Mario Bros. One, the fact that I'm holding it in my hand should tell you that much, but I'm not gonna suck up to Nintendo this time. I know that if I get it, I'm not gonna use it all that much, so I'm not getting the next one. I already set aside $50. And the fourth and final item in this one more thing is more information on Breath of the Wild 2, featuring Link falling. And falling, but with the paraglider. It's coming out in 2022. Something tells me it's going to get delayed. And that's the end of E3. I've got to say, for the first time that I've actually gone outside of Nintendo Directs, it was kind of disappointing. Capcom didn't show anything. Square Enix is just Marvel games at this point. But I mean, Microsoft showed off some pretty good stuff. And the Nintendo Direct was probably the best Direct I've seen in quite a while, with a new Metroid game and more news on Breath of the Wild 2, along with WarioWare and that Zelda Game & Watch, which is proof that I have absolutely no self-control over what I spend my money on. Now, as I was saying, I don't think anyone asked for Kazuya from Tekken to be in the game, and in fact, I'm gonna go check.
Emma, what are your thoughts on Kazuya from Tekken being in Super Smash Bros.?
Yep, I didn't get much information from that. Now then, I believe I forgot something. Namco. Yeah, Namco had a presentation too. Let's see what they had. Nothing.